listening in. I think Bobby had asked everybody to mute their microphone. You go to the phone button, and then you click the phone button and go down to the microphone and click it, and that way we don't hear you cough, sneeze, laugh, yell at the dog, whatever you do. It's a real pleasure to have you. I'm Doug Harold with Time and Eternity. To our first podcast, we'll have folks joining us by phone and by webinar, listening in. I think Bobby had asked everybody to mute their microphone. You go to the phone button, and then you click the phone button and go down to the microphone and click it, and that way we don't hear you cough, sneeze, laugh, yell at the dog, whatever you do. It's a real pleasure to have you here tonight. It's our first ever webinar. Bobby, I got people telling me they did not get a conference ID when they were trying to call in with the number that you gave me. So if you can look into that. So if you're listening in today, this is our first one, so bear with us. Failing is not failure is not part of trying, not failing. Not trying is failing. I got a pause button on my screen, so I'm not sure. If we're live or if we're not live. I think we're okay. Again, apologize for maybe some of the technical problems here, but welcome. I'm Doug Harold, President and CEO of Time and Eternity. We're glad that you're here. We're glad that you've joined us. We're really glad to have you. A couple things by way of some administration. We'd like to have questions and comments, and we're going to give you an opportunity to make those questions and comments. If you go to your upper chat button and see the person, if you click on participants and you go to where it says Bobby, and then click on Bobby and go to chat, and you can send her any questions that you have, and she'll get those to me, and I'll do my best to answer them. We're here to serve you. We're here to try to be a blessing. So questions is part of what's going on. We are Time and Eternity. I'm Doug Harold. I've had a lot of experience in the last 47 years of my life, which is the longest I've been here. Certainly the last 7 years of my life I've worked on me a lot. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight, and a little bit about Time and Eternity. If you go to the second slide here, what to expect tonight is a pretty big deal. We're going to cover a few of these topics: who we are, what we do, why we believe what we do is beneficial to you, and then a couple of little things on a couple of subjects of who you are matters more than a lot of other things, and then also inside the wholeness of life, and so that's a really big deal. Trying to get this message out to some folks to get them listening online. But you'll just bear with us for just a couple of minutes as we try to work through this, and it'll be a good thing. have folks joining as we speak. So here we go. Again, Doug Harold, President and CEO of Time and Eternity. On our website, timeandeternity.net, there's an opportunity for you to go in and read about us, our bios, us being the tremendous team that we've been allowed to bring together. I have a day job. I work as a vice president of manufacturing and manufacturing organization. I do lots of emotional counseling, lots of emotional the religious circles. I've been a pastor for nearly 20 years. I've found that a lot of times religion in the day and age that you and I live sometimes leaves folks a little bit empty. And so, that's who we are. Bobby Sparks, Dr. Bobby Sparks is a big part of our team that does all of the global and worldwide communications. Dave Flynn, also part of our team, has lots of manufacturing and coaching experience. So, we're looking forward to that. So that's who we are, Time and Eternity. And then Brian Daniels is our physical coach. As you'll see, we're talking about the wholeness of life. So sometimes having somebody to reach out to and talk about your physical health is also a pretty big deal. So we'll have all of that. It's pretty detailed on our website, timeandeternity.net. But that's a little bit about who we are, what we do. Personal, professional, and organizational development. You'll probably see this come up in a slide a little bit later, but investments that you will ever make in your life is an investment in you. We call it the wholeness of life. One of the greatest things that I ever did was 7 years ago at the age of 30. I began to recognize that although I was very successful in life, I had to have the world said to be that I needed in order to be happy. Welcome whoever joined us. That's there. Put your phone on mute. On the internet, you just go up to the phone icon and click the phone icon and go down to the speaker and click mute so we can have that. And again, questions and those for Bobby via the chat. What we do is wholeness of life. Life is not any of these things separate. These things are life altogether. Relationships, work, spiritual, self-development, emotional development. So we call it the wholeness of life. This is not, about you getting rich or us getting rich. It's about us wanting to help people. I believe strongly in helping people. Our desire is to help people. You say, well, who's this not for? This is not for somebody that's looking to generate wealth. This is somebody that's looking to change already maybe a wonderful life and add to it. Those are some of the benefits in it. And as we go, who's it right for? It's right for folks that are looking for opportunities to finish life and to fill life up in the completeness. We sometimes have things in life that are whole and that are real, and we segregate life inside of work or inside of home or inside of fun. Life is really, really special, and life is really, really sweet when we can juggle all of those things. So, what Time and Eternity, what we try to offer is a balance inside of those things, and what we call the wholeness of life. It's an opportunity to balance It's an opportunity to balance, the struggles of life, the joys of life, and just to bring it into where it's perfect. So as we go down through these things, we're gonna talk about. So why is it beneficial? Again, the greatest investment you'll ever make is in you. As you make that investment in you, you'll make that investment in somebody that's gonna go and go back and be able to give to other folks. That's why it's beneficial. You get the opportunity of being able to help yourself, and then you have the opportunity to help others. But until you're able to help yourself and to continue to grow, it's a really big deal. So who's it's for? It's for families. It's for students that are starting out. It's for people that are looking for the purpose of life inside of what they are. It's certainly for professional men and women, for business owners, for executives, for mid-level managers. We firmly believe that any time that you get the opportunity to invest in you, that every aspect of your life will change. Sometimes we've had this point of once we finish our formal education, all of a sudden we don't, we finish our formal education and all of a sudden life sort of stops. That's not what continuous improving life is. That's not what life is in order for us to be complete. So we truly believe that once you begin to understand the benefits of the continuous improvement life, it'll be a big help. So who's it right for? It's right for somebody that's looking to maybe fill in their heart, maybe fill a spot where everything else has been, you've done everything else somebody told you to do in order to be successful, and you have to, but yet there's still something there, or something that somebody wants to learn to live life with passion, live life with joy and hope. It's certainly somebody there inside of that. And then, you talk about what I call who you are. Being able to invest in yourself and being able to continue to work on yourself is about who you are. I firmly believe that once we discover who we are, that everything else in life begins to sort of come together. Once we discover who we are, the where we are and the what we are doesn't matter. The who we are is inside of our self-image. So once you understand who you are, all of a sudden then you can be content and complete with where you are and with what you are. A lot of times in life we've been told that if we go and try to get, life, try to get the next job, try to get the next promotion, try to get the next car, try to get the next wife, whatever it may be, that'll complete us. And then what happens is we go get the next job, or we get what we call the dream job, and then all of a sudden there's something missing. And there's something missing because outward things can't validate an inward person. Who you are is on the inside. There's a great illustration that I have. I showed Bobby last night. You take two clear cups, two clear solo cups, and you write on the outside of one who you are, and nothing on the inside. If the cup that says who you are is on the outside, nobody ever gets to see who you are on the inside. And who you are on the inside is much more important than who you are on the outside. But if you take the who you are cup on the outside and all of a sudden stick it on the inside of the cup, then who you are, everybody sees. And there's no worry about, what they see is what they get. They see you. And what you're going to learn and what you're going to understand is as you go through some coaching and self-development, you'll learn that as they see you, that you're good enough. That's what we call self-image. But who you are is the most important thing. Who you are matters more than anything else in the world. So as we begin to understand who we are, then all of a sudden where we are and what we are becomes pretty easy, because we're no longer judged, or worse yet, we no longer judge ourselves by what people think we are. because we understand who we are, and then that's a very important piece to what's going on. So our hope is to try to go here, and for those of you that's continued to join, we appreciate it. We'd like for you to hop in and ask questions anytime. You can do that by hitting the little people icon on your thing and send Bobby a question, and we'll be happy to answer it. So as we work through some of the bugs, bear with us, because our goal and purpose is to help you. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to do more than anything else in the world. I want to help people. I'm sitting here in my home in Florence, Kentucky, and I think about how many people along the way has helped me and how much work I've done inside of my own emotional state to try to get help. We want to truly help you, and as we go through and understanding who you are really makes a big difference in everything else about your life. Sometimes we'll have to change our mind. Sometimes we'll have to quit lying to ourselves. And when I say quit lying to ourselves, sometimes we're our own worst enemy. We tell ourselves we're no good. We tell ourselves that we can't make it. We tell ourselves we can't get the next promotion. We can't get the next job. We can't, get the next joy in life, and that's just simply not true. So I want to go to the next slide here, and it's a picture of a tree. It's a picture of a dead tree, and I like to call this dead tree in this illustration the apple tree. And I'd like to, think about for a minute the investment in yourself. For a long time, I didn't invest in myself. I worked hard. I gave, and I gave, and I gave, and I gave to people. And for the first 43 years of my life, I gave to people in hopes of people loving me and realizing that no matter how much they loved me, I was never capable of loving. So when we talk about investing in ourselves, this is the result of giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and never giving back to you. When you say that, it might sound like it's a little bit selfish, but I'm not talking about selfish in a way of giving, being selfish. You can't help other people with any more help than you've got personally. So that's what we're talking about. And as we go to the next, the only thing you can do with this tree after it's dead is cut it down and burn it, and it's no longer there. As we go to the next slide, this is what I call the apple tree. And the apple tree is you and me. The apple tree is our lives. And once we begin to invest back inside of our lives, and once we begin to invest back in who we are, then all of a sudden people see a healthy tree. People see a tree that's rooted and grounded. People see all of a sudden begin to look and they say, well, what's different about Doug? He sure seems different. All of a sudden the tree begins to bloom. Somebody sees the bloom, and the blooms begin to have some fragrance, and then all of a sudden there's beautiful green leaves, and then all of a sudden there's fruit. There's fruit for others, but without an investment in you, there is eventually no benefit of your life for other people. And that's what the joy of life comes by us being strong enough to really give back and invest in others. And a lot of folks that give, they give and they give and they give and they give because they don't feel like they deserve to have, so they give. Well, you deserve to have, and there's plenty to have. I believe that we live in a world of abundance. I believe that we serve a God of abundance. And so, but unless we give to ourselves first, we can't give to anybody. There's an illustration in the Bible of Peter and John going into the temple, and there was a crippled fellow there, and the crippled fellow looked at Peter and John, and they looked at him, this life of improvement or personal development. It's personal development throughout life. You know, in manufacturing world or in the business world, there's a principle called lean manufacturing and continuous improvement. And those two terms, you know, the continuous improvement means that every time you get to the goal or to the target, you raise the goal and you raise the target. Why? So you can create a gap, and once you create that gap, and then all of a sudden you can come back and begin to work on things in order to get to that gap. That's sort of what we do inside of, you know, personal coaching. Things that we're going to give you inside of, you know, the membership based website-based membership, and inside the opportunity to take on personal coaching. And it's all around this thing right here. It's all around the greatest investment that you'll ever make is in you. That's a big deal. That investment in you is a big deal for other people. It's a big deal for you. To be able to have completeness of life, to be able to have joy, and to be able to go through life understanding that no matter what happens, you know, we're gonna be able to get through it. We're gonna be able to go through it. So inside of, you know, the greatest investment you'll ever make is you. We use the apple tree to try to illustrate that, because if nothing was ever given to the apple tree, it would eventually be cut in wood and burned, and then it'd be gone. One of the most tragic things in life is for people to live life thinking that their life don't matter. Your life does matter, and for you to be able to understand your purpose and be able to understand what you give to people that you touch on a daily basis is a really, really big deal. So, you know, consider, you know, the apple tree. Consider when, you know, you think about investing in you. When you think about trying to make something of your life, and you say, well, you know, I don't deserve it. That's my dog barking. Don't mind her. She likes to bark. She's a big old German Shepherd. And you get to the place where we say, well, I don't deserve to invest in me. That's another lie that you got to quit telling yourself, because you do deserve to invest in you. One thing that I've learned is most of the time people can't ever see themselves as other people see them. I use this illustration. You know, a couple of years ago, in the midst of my personal growth, I realized that I really struggled with Christmas time. And I didn't struggle leading up to Christmas much. You know, I look forward to being around family. I look forward to being around friends. But I would always hit the wall after Christmas, a day or 2 or 3 days after Christmas. I would hit the wall. And I began to look at that, because that's what personal development, continuous improvement does. It looks at the gap. And I knew in my life there was a gap. I knew in my life that, you know, this thing is, you know, it should be the most wonderful time of the year. I mean, it's Christmas time, and then I recognized inside of myself that no matter what somebody did for me or what happened, it wouldn't be good enough. I recognized if my wife and my 3 daughters got me a tie, in my heart I would have said, well, you got me a tie because that's all I deserve. And I also recognized that they got me a brand new Corvette, which is, you know, my favorite kind of car. If they got me a brand new Corvette, I'd say, why'd you give me that for? Because I'm a piece of crap and I don't deserve it. So what we do inside of lying to ourselves, we put other people in the midst of a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. No matter what they do is wrong. No matter what side of the coin they want to argue, we want to argue the other side. And that comes from never wanting to give yourself a break, never wanting to let you have the opportunity to be something. And there's a ton about this that's a really, really big deal. Inside of those things, and inside of understanding, vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is strength. We've been lied to think that we can't be vulnerable because that shows weakness. As men, we've been told that, well, you know, we can't cry because that's weakness. That's not weakness. you letting your just be honest? That's who you are. That's not a bad thing. That's who you are. So when you consider, what we offer, we offer personal. We offer personal development, professional development, organizational development. But the personal development is a big thing. Your personal development is that's the greatest opportunity that you are. I think about time and eternity. Who we are. We are the people that want to help you. We're the people that wants to try to be there for you and inside of your emotional deal. We heard somebody cough a minute ago again, and I appreciate everybody joining late. If you just go up to the little button and click that way, somebody else could hear you. Again, if you just joined, you want to ask us questions, please send those questions to Bobby, and she'll get them up in front of me. And where we were is, what we offer and what we're not matters. Our goal is to give you something that's much more beneficial to you than what you paid for. We ask for a membership fee of $25 annually. Inside of that, you're going to get some newsletters that's going to really help you. You're going to get access to to books and to materials. And you say, well, why do you charge? Well, a couple of things. One, if you're not willing to invest yourself, I shouldn't have to waste my time investing in you. And that's not being mean. You deserve to be invested in. And quite frankly, something that's free, most folks don't appreciate it. So, and then also, we have, we want to change the world. I believe that there's a lot of folks in the world that are looking for something inside of their heart to fill something that's empty, and we want to change the world. And I think you do that through the personal development. I think you do that, inside of what you do, and then certainly professional development, personal development, professional development. It can, if you're a professional, if you are an executive, if you're a small business owner, those things obviously go hand in hand. Going back to one of the original slides, the wholeness of life is sort of everything. And then obviously if you're I believe if you invest in you, everything about your life gets better. I believe if you're a person and that you're a father, I believe you become a better father. I believe you become a better worker. I believe you become a better friend. I believe you become a better husband, a better father, a better friend. All of those things are benefits of you investing in you. And certainly the professional side, I've spent a lot of time in investing in me. I read nearly 6 or 8 books a month, including working a full-time job, overseeing, pastoring a church, doing Time and Eternity. So, well, how do you do all that? I do all that because it's my passion. I do all that because it's my life. It's what I do. It's what I love to do. But every aspect of my life, as I've invested in me, has gotten better. So as you decide to invest in you, it will also get better. It will also get better inside of you being a parent, you being a child, you being a worker. So that's so these things are overlap because like any foundation that stands, it stands on each other. It stands together. So your life, sort of goes together. And as I said earlier, what we're not, we're not a revenue generating scheme. And I don't mean that bad. understand how powerful the who you are is, and you'll begin to be less afraid of trying. As I said when we first came on the air tonight, I said, forgive us if we're not perfect and have all this thing buttoned up. But the one thing I said, the only way we fail is if we don't try. Somebody told Einstein that somebody told Edison that he had failed 10,000 times. He said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. He said, I just learned 10,000 ways it wouldn't work. So it is all a matter of how you look at it. I had a fellow a few months ago talking about, are you a glass half empty or a glass half full kind of guy? And I answered, quite frankly, well, it depends. It depends on where the glass started. If the glass started empty and it's half full, you're doing all right. If the glass started full and now it's half empty, you're probably going backwards. So we're not a get rich quick scheme. We're not going to overpromise and underdeliver. We're going to underpromise and overdeliver because we want to change the face of the world. We want to change people's lives that matter. That's what matters. You being able to live most of life with joy and with content. So as we go to the next slide, we call it inside the wholeness of life. The wholeness of life is the complete thing. Here you see, can there be pain? Yeah, there's going to be pain in life. I'd be lying to you if I told you that, you hooked up with Time&Eternity and, I'll date Flynn or myself or somebody to coach you and somebody to, get you to understand the principles of the wholeness of life. Everything's going to be perfect. Everything's not always going to be perfect. I promise you that. If there's one thing that's certain, there will be pain in life. But there doesn't have to be suffering. There's always going to be pain. There's always going to be someone that's, that's sick and that's under the weather, and someone that you love that's passed away, or there's always going to be some, financial struggle or some personal struggle or, kid struggle. That's life. I wish it wasn't, but it is. There's always going to be pain, but it doesn't have to be suffering. So what's the difference between pain and suffering? Pain is something that's going to happen to you in the course of everyday life. We're going to have loss. We're going to suffer heartache. We're going to suffer. But suffering is living in pain with no hope of getting out. That's where you don't have to live. You don't have to live in pain with no hope of getting out. That's what suffering is. There's going to be pain. I got not a webcast. We're doing a webcast. I got a podcast that I'm getting ready to do on suffering. I'm sorry. I got a podcast that I'm getting ready to do on mourning, on grief. And it's a big deal. There's going to be people in life that you've already lost. There's going to be somebody that you love that's already going on through death. There's going to be people that you love that is going to die. There's going to be folks that's going to get sick. You're going to lose your job. Somebody's going to shut down a plant. Somebody's going to, those things are painful. You might go through a divorce. Those things are painful. But suffering is when you live constantly in pain with no hope of getting out. There doesn't have to be suffering. There doesn't. There will always be pain. There don't have to be suffering. And as we begin to talk about the wholeness of life, and as we begin to talk about, what those opportunities are, that's what Time&Eternity offers. It's about the wholeness of life. And you get to the time and eternity part. I certainly have certain very strong beliefs about eternity. But I also believe I had one of my teachers tell me a long, long time ago that folks don't care what you know until they know that you care. To be able to help you inside of time, to be able to help you now inside of life where you're at, is really our goal. And then, one day to get the opportunity to talk to you about eternity, is that important to me? Yes, that's important to me. But I don't know why most folks would ever let me talk to them about eternity unless they realized I cared about them inside of this life. And that's what Time and Eternity is. It's my vision. It's 20 years of ministry. It's 47 years of life. It's 25 years of working every day with people inside of manufacturing, inside of leadership. It's trying to balance those things out. It's learning to be a friend, learning to have a friend. I got some great friends in life because I've learned to be a great friend. I got one or two people in life I can tell everything to. And I know that it's safe, to understand those sweetnesses that come along with the wholeness of life, to understand how sometimes as a parent you have to miss certain events for your kids, but understand how to go through those things, how to walk through them, understand as a small owner why that sometimes you got to work 90 hours a week and what the end game is and how to balance that out, and how to be honest with your wife, or how to be honest with your children, or how to be honest with your husband. Here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm trying to do. And I got some great friends that have a very successful life externally, whether it's internally or not, I don't know. But be able to put the wholeness of life together is a really, really big deal. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to help you with. So as we come to the end, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. What is membership? What is coaching? This is not a plea for money. I mean that with all my heart. I believe you have to have money in order to finance sometimes your calling, in order to finance your vision. But to fleece you, or to feel like you've been robbed at gunpoint, that's not what we're about. That's not what we do. That's not what we want. Obviously, the first thing is a simple membership. $25 annually. And I would be willing to guarantee you that $25 will be, if you'll use it, will be the 25 easiest dollars you've ever spent and got an investment back out of. The greatest investment, and I've made a bunch of them in life, and I'm talking financial investment right now. The greatest financial investment that I've ever made in life is the financial investment I made inside of me, inside of getting help for me, inside of learning for me. 7 years I've financially invested in me getting help, me understanding the wholeness of life. The last 3 years I've probably read a couple hundred, probably books. That's an investment. To buy them, that's an investment. Those investments that I've made in me were the greatest investments that I ever made. So as a membership, $25 annually, you get newsletters, you get opportunities for webinars, you get discounts on books and stuff that we sell, and then coaching. Coaching is a little bit deeper level. We've talked about different things, and I was at a place a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about coaching, and they wanted to, and it was good. I'm not belittling, and it's pretty expensive. But here we're talking about one-on-one coaching for a year with, myself, Dave Flynn, Bobby, some other members of some other folks that we have, and inside that coaching is more geared for the personal and the professional small business owner. We put a price on that at $4,500 a year. Whether that's too high or not too high, you can decide for yourself. I don't think it is, and certainly we'd like for you to, if you even want to consider it, to call and talk to us about it, or email us about it. Again, if I had the financial wherewithal, I would just guarantee it, because this is how much I believe in it. Obviously, I believe in it enough to put a website up and get with Bobby and Dave and Brian and the rest of our team to bring this to you and to reach out to over 1 million people to try to get this thing. I believe in it. I think it's a really big deal. So that's why I think that the investment is important. It's an investment inside of you, and as we go to the website, Time&Eternity.net. You'll see more about us. You'll see who we are and more about what we do. I don't know, Bobby, if we have some questions. Again, if you'd like to, shoot a question, we're here for you. We're here to serve you. Go to the little people icon and just click on it. I think that most of these are. You can just send it directly to Bobby, or you can send it to all of us. Bobby, do you have something? A question? Bobby's sending me some stuff here, things that we talked about and then we didn't cover. But if you have a question, reach out to us at Time and Eternity, because we want to help. We truly want to help. You can contact us at info@timeandeternity.net, and that'll be a good deal. And we are looking forward to trying to be able to help you, trying to be able to do something. We have a question. What makes us different than other coaches? Well, I think honestly it's about what you want out of coaching. If you want professional coaching, is there somebody that can do it better? Probably. Let's be honest. But if you want the wholeness of life coaching, is there somebody that can do it better? I'm not real sure that there is. And I believe that. And I certainly don't believe there's somebody that can do it better for what you pay and what you get out of what you do. The wholeness of life, you'll learn, really is the most important thing. To be able to understand who you are is the most important thing. We got, question why who you are matters most. Does that promote selfishness? That's a great question. No, it doesn't. And it doesn't because when I say investing in yourself, it's investing in yourself so you can help others. So I'll give you briefly, my story. At 40 years old, I was successful. I had just landed a job that, was more money than I ever thought I would make. Being a farm boy out of Mansfield, Kentucky. I had a wife. I had 3 girls, 3 beautiful girls that are all in college now. And I remember leaving after negotiating the agreement on that job. I remember crying nearly all the way home because I felt so little about myself. I'd been successful. I had just landed a career job, and I remember thinking that I was so empty inside that if I didn't get help, I wasn't going to make it. So when we say who you are, I had to learn who I was. I had to understand who I was. I had to understand that I was good enough. My dad had left when I was an infant. And sometimes when things happen to you in your past, you struggle with the opportunity to realize you're worth anything. So when I say who you are matters, now that I know that I'm worth something, not selfishly, just in reality, now that I know that my thoughts matter, that I have something that can help people, now I know that I can help people. So when I say invest in yourself, I'm saying invest in yourself for the benefit of you, the apple tree, and then once the apple tree gets healthy, everybody gets to eat the fruit of that tree. So, we're not talking about selfishness. I'm talking about changing the world because you've changed. Another question. I appreciate the questions. What about confidentiality? Is my information going to be given to others? Is this like counseling? There's a bunch of questions. So let's cover confidentiality first. I believe in order for you to grow, in order for you to invest in yourself, you have to have complete confidentiality. Whether it's coaching or whether it's membership, we're not going to give our membership list out to anybody. We're not going to sell our membership list. Okay, I think it gets. I believe you have to family or inside of your background, inside your paradigm, that when you begin to look at yourself, it'll make you feel uncomfortable. Certainly when you begin to be vulnerable, it'll make you feel uncomfortable. So confidentiality is very supreme inside of what we do. No matter who we coach, unless you want them to know, nobody will ever know that we coach them. This is not leveraging our list of names and the other folks to look and see. This is not leveraging the fact that we're coaching somebody that's very successful and say, look at us. It's not about us. It's about you. It's about you getting help and about you being better and stronger and you understanding the gift of who you are. So you can affect others and let them be able to see who they are. So that's a big deal. It's like counseling. Certainly, inside of coaching, you're going to get a lot of counsel. You get to take it, you get to leave it. Inside of the membership, it's not like counseling. It's practices that evolve around, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your financial health, your physical health, your professional development, your self-development. It'll be inside of those things. $25 a year, you're going to get a newsletter that I know inside of. You get a newsletter every month. You're going to get help. You're going to get some practical tips inside of your life to be able to help it. And then in the coaching, is like counseling. I believe what you need is most of us what we need is inside of us. And do you have to talk through it? Do you have to work through it? Do you have to be able to look at the top 20 things in life that's important to you and say, hey, these 20 things are important to me, and I'm going to work on these first 4 or 5. I mean, is it counsel? There's safety in the multitude of counselors. So, yeah, is it counsel? Yeah, I mean, but it's counseling, not unless you want it to be. It could be. Do I think I can help a husband and wife that's willing to try to, be helpful? Absolutely. I think I've done it before. I think I'm better equipped to do it now. Is there enough wisdom inside of what we do to get you real help from a professional? Yeah, we'll certainly try to set you up inside of those things. But is it counseling? No. It's about investing in you. It's about the wholeness of life. It's about giving you the opportunity to reach everything that you can, everything that you're capable of. That's what it's about. And it's about the wholeness of life. It's about you being able to balance. And sometimes being balanced might not look like it's in balance, but it's in balance inside of your relationships. It's in balance inside of where you're at that time. So those are really, really great questions, and we're truly committed to try to do our best for you and for those. We have our website up in 3 different languages: Spanish, Chinese, and English. Somebody said, watch Spanish, Chinese, and English. Well, it covers about 99% of the speaking the language spoken in the world. So that's why. But it's a big deal. It's something that's really special and really good. Appreciate, again, you joining us. Time&Eternity.net is our website. I'm Doug Harold. You can email any questions that you have to this. Bobby, I'm assuming we got no more questions. We've been going for about 50 minutes, so we really appreciate you investing some time in us and giving this. And it's been really good. It's been a real honor to be here. I think Bobby's going to try to work this out to where he is putting this on our internet where folks can come to it and click on the webinar. So if you missed part of it, or if you know somebody that might like to listen to it, please do that. Bobby's going to be posting this on YouTube, so that'll be fun. So just look at our YouTube page on Time&Eternity.net and go to YouTube and watch it, or go to YouTube and forward it. But really, our passion is to can do to help you, we sincerely want to try to do that, because the only thing that matters in life is what you leave behind. And the only thing you leave behind is the imprint that you put on people's lives. And that's what we want to do. I appreciate so much you taking time to join us. It's a real honor. It's very humbling, but we're promised to do our best for you.